Good morning, grade 8. Have a good day. Welcome to our English class. Are you ready for our next topic? But before that, let us have a short review. Kindly get your notebooks and write all the things that you can still remember. 2 minutes for that. Time's up! Let us have our warm-up activity. It is entitled Super Teacher. Again, let us have a warm-up activity entitled Super Teacher. What is the purpose of this activity? Students, notice how to talk about ability and inability. Again, the purpose of this activity is that students notice how to talk about ability and inability. Students will tell what are the characteristics of superheroes. What do superheroes can do? Superheroes can fly. Superheroes can run faster. Superheroes can lift heavy objects. Those are the characteristics of superheroes. Any other characteristics? Write down on your notebooks. What about super teacher? What are the things that super teacher can do? What are the powers of super teacher? 2 minutes for that. Time's up! What can you notice about our warm-up activity? Hindi na naman. Bakit yan? Naiwan pa rin. Stop. Do you want to play a game? Let's play a game. It is called a modal game.
stand before you, accused of many crimes, but I wanna believe that love could still survive. You don't have to say it, I don't have to read your mind to know the emptiness has finally arrived. How was I to know right from wrong? Words were hardly spoken, so where did I go wrong? Tell me honestly if you still loving me, looking into my eyes honestly. Words have more meaning if they said at certain times. I need you now so I can feel alive. How would you know if you won't give me some time to see if everything could work out? You'll be mine. Oh, will I be lost forever, or someday I may find the words that I've been searching for are just a piece of mind. Tell me honestly if you still loving me, looking into my eyes honestly. Oh, tell me honestly if you still loving me, looking into my eyes honestly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All the nights I sit and wonder, there must be more to life, I'm sure. Days and years gone by while I am living with a lonely feeling. Honestly, if you still loving me, looking into my eyes honestly. Oh, tell me honestly if you still loving me, looking into my eyes honestly. I stand before you, accused of many crimes, but I wanna believe that love could still survive.
Question: what can you notice about the activities? About the two learning tasks, model game, and the other activity about the song, about the lyrics of the song. None? Let's proceed. On page 20 of your module, you will see what do we mean by modals. The definition of modals. Verbs, modal, auxiliaries are special verbs which behave irregularly in English, different from normal verbs like work, play, and visit. It gives additional information about the function of the main verb that follows it. A great variety of communicative functions. So these modals are special verbs. They are not the same as the main verbs. The verbs work, play, visit, dance, sing, all the verbs that you can think. These are the classification of modals. Modals of permission. Permission is an act of giving consent or authorization. Use can or could to say or indicate whether someone has permission to do something. If someone allows you to do it, if someone has permission, you can use can or could. Use can't or couldn't to say if someone didn't allow you to do it or do not have any permission to do something. Example, can, can, used to ask for and give permission. We use can to ask for and give permission. Examples, can you give me your number? Can you help me with this? I can do it if you want me to. Can you give me your number? Can you help me with this? I can do it if you want me to. Sample statements of can also be found on page 20 of your module. What about could? Could is used as a more polite and more formal in asking permission. Could is used as a more polite and more formal in asking permission. Examples, I could possibly ask my mom to cook it for us. I could possibly ask my mom to cook it for us. Could I interview the mayor? Could you lend me your book? Could I interview the mayor? Could you lend me your book? Aside from can and could, we also have may. Used as a most polite and more formal in asking and giving permission. Unlike could, which is considered as a more polite and more formal in asking permission, this modal may is considered as the most polite and formal among the three. Examples: medical practitioners affected by COVID-19 may now claim their financial support from the government. Teachers may now distribute the modules to the learners. Could I borrow your book, please? As you can notice on the three examples, models of permission, can, could, and may is considered as the most polite. Second classification of modals, models of prohibition. Models of prohibition. Prohibition is an act of giving, disallowing, or prohibiting someone in performing or doing something. Prohibition is an act of giving, disallowing, or prohibiting someone in performing or doing something. Models of prohibition can also be found on page 20 of your module. What are the examples of models of prohibition? Can't. Can't is used in dealing against the rules, laws, or signs. The speaker is not the one who set the rules. As a reminder, in models of prohibition, can't, the speaker is not the one who set the rules. You can go out during the community quarantine. Quarantine policy. Another example, the company can the company can't for motion for reconsiderations. Legal proceeding. You can't buy any alcoholic beverages due to liquor ban. Liquor ban policy. Next, another example or types of models of prohibition is must not or mustn't. It is used in dealing with something that is not permitted. It is the speaker who set the rules. Example, you must not turn off your camera during online class. Mustn't you eat the fruits inside the fridge? Mother to child. Salome must not tell my secrets to her friends. Boss to a colleague. For the next classification, models of obligation. Models of obligation. Obligation is an act of giving commitment or duty. It is an act of giving commitment or duty. Example, has or have to. It is used when obligation comes not from the speaker. The obligation is set by an authority or law. Examples, I have to be in the airport before the flight departure. She has to submit her reports on time. The company has to pay retrenchment benefits to its employees. Just like the employees that were retrenched in the ABS-CBN company. So the company needs to give or to pay retrenchments benefits for their employees who lost their jobs. So when we say retrenchments, it is the reduction of cost or spending in response to economic difficulty. So until now, we are still in crisis because of COVID-19. Different companies lessen their employees because they lack budget. Aside from has or have to, we have must. Models of obligation must is used when obligation comes from the speaker or from authority. The obligation is set by an authority or law. Examples, I must call my husband now. We must finish the reports on time. I must stay away from them. Those are examples of must. The third classification is modals of no obligation. No obligation expresses the absence of commitment or duty. Expresses the absence of commitment or duty as one may do it. Example, models of don't, doesn't, have to. Examples, she doesn't have to attend funeral if she is not feeling well. You don't have to come to my office in person. You may submit it online. The employees don't have to come this morning as the activity will start in the afternoon. Again, we have the three classification of modals. Classification such as permission, obligation, and models of no obligation. What are some or additional classification of modals? Models of ability. We can use modal verbs to talk about ability, either general ability or specific ability. In a particular situation, the modal verbs of ability are can, could, and be able to. Next, modals of advice. It is used to express that they think something is a good or a bad idea. Should is the most common way to give advice. Should is the most common way to give advice. Models of possibility. In English, there are three main models of possibility: may, might, and could. What is the pattern upon using models of possibility? Modal plus main or base verb. We use these models to describe a possible action. From the word itself, possibility, there is possibility. It is possible. Models of probability. When talking about the present, modal verbs of probability express a guess or suggestion. Probability express a guess or suggestion. Are they the same with verbs? Is it a yes or a no? Let's sum it up. Classification of modals. Modal verbs. To sum it up, these are modals, other examples, and its type. Permission. We have modal verbs of can, could, and may. Examples. Can I sit in that chair, please? Could I open the window? May I borrow your dictionary? Next is prohibition. Can't, mustn't. You can't drive in this country unless you are 18. You mustn't use your phone in class. obligation. Must, have to. I must memorize all of these rules about tenses. You have to take off your shoes before you get into the mosque. No obligation. Don't have to. You don't have to tell me your secrets. You don't have to come to my birthday because of this pandemic. Next is ability. Can, could. David can speak 3 languages. He could speak fluent French when he was 5. Advice. Should is the common way to give advice. You should visit your dentist twice a year. You should try eat more vegetables. Possibility. Might, may, could, and can. It looks nice, but it can be expensive. Anna may be coming tomorrow and visit us. Last but not least, probability. Will, should. If you study more, you will get better. If we go now, we should take the flight. Let's now proceed with the next learning task. For our learning task 4, it can be found on page 21 of your learning module. I'll read the instruction. Choose the modal that best completes each statement. Write the letters of your answers in your notebook. 1. There's a lot of distractions coming from passing vehicles. Blank, Anthony closed the door. A. Must. B. Could. C. Would. D. Can. Number 2. Josiah, blank, start investing now if she wants to retire soon. A. Can. B. May. C. Would. D. Have to. Number 3. Ray, blank, come to the session, but his presence would lighten the mood if he's there. A. Couldn't. B. Can't. C. Mustn't. D. Don't have to. Number 4. Pirena can't get a connection on her gadget. Blank, she borrow yours. A. Have to. B. May. C. Can. D. Would. 5. It's a controlled room. Unauthorized persons blank come inside. A. Don't have to. B. May. C. Can. D. Would. A. Don't have to. B. Can't. C. Wouldn't. D. Couldn't. 6. Kaloy blank be at the airport at least 2 hours before his flight. A. Has to. B. Can. C. May. D. Would. 7. The invitation says that you blank only bring 3 guests with you to the party. A. Have to. B. Can. C. May. D. Could. Number 8. Gisela blank stay overtime in the office today rather than going and working in the office this weekend. A. Must. B. Have to. C. Could. D. Would. 9. Canela believes that she blank finished this task before the deadline. A. May. B. Would. C. Could. D. Have to. Number 10. Considering the event's formality, the winners blank wear their kasuotang Pilipino for the awarding. A. Could. B. Must. C. Can. D. Would. For the next learning task, number 5 or learning task 5, get an article from a newspaper, journal, or other online sources. Copy or cut and paste it in your notebook. Then, highlight each modal used in the article. Then, identify if the highlighted modals express permission, obligation, and prohibition. Example of newspaper, online sources. So what are the online sources? The websites wherein you research, you search, surf the internet. Those are online sources. We also have journals. You may also cut and paste or copy in a given journal. Next, learning task 6. Find an infographic or poster that uses modals. Paste it in your notebook. Identify the modals used and determine the statement it expresses. Write your answers in your notebook. This learning task can be found on page 22 of your learning module. Additional information. An infographic is a visual image such as a chart or diagram used to represent information or data. Coronavirus and tobacco use. So, those are examples of infographic. Next learning task, here is the instructions. Copy and complete in your notebook the dialogue by supplying phrases or modals plus verbs expressing permission, obligation, prohibition, if necessary. The title of the dialogue is Once Upon a Pandemic. There is no perfect time and age to becoming responsible and well-informed citizens. Anyone can be, especially in this time of crisis. Here is the dialogue. Alena, I was not born with a golden spoon in mouth, so there is nothing I can do to survive the situation I am in at present. Akil, likewise, we both grew up and raised in love, faith, patience, and perseverance. We blank strong. Alena, blank that we blank to keep going to survive this pandemic. Akil, our government, and all of us complacent in trying time like this. Alena, though we have our government to support us during this critical time, we blank completely dependent on our government. Akil, yes, you said it right. We blank resourceful and frugal at times like this. Alena, I blank that we blank planting vegetable in our own backyard or in any improvised plant box. Akil, that's a good idea, Anna. We, as responsible citizens, blank also blank our government surpass this trying time. Alena, not only that we blank compliant to the rules directed by our government to get rid of this pandemic the soonest possible time. Akil, yeah, I got it right. Let's go check what we blank and blank while under enhanced community quarantine. Alena, that is what we blank in times of crisis. We blank up this pandemic in no time at all if we will cooperate. Akil, come on, friend, we blank a different.